you're going places, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, and then you're looking at your life, nothing around you looks like it. But that word that God said will surely come to pass. It's only
Yes.
subject to time and subject to your readiness. So this season of your life, what are you doing to build capacity? What are you doing to become a better version of yourself? What are you doing to actually prepare yourself for where God is taking you to and the things that God has said he's going to do with you? Because they are not going to come and meet you where you are. You have to go for it. You have to work hard for it. You have to like position yourself for it. And when you do that, you realize that everything will begin to fall in place. So
Welcome to Voices with Victoria, the series that unlocks the power of resilience. Join me and industry experts as we explore career development, human capacity, nation building, and entrepreneurship.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Voices with Victoria Ndu. I am super excited to be here, and guess what? I have here with me delectable host who also is my friend, super amazing entrepreneur. We have with us here today the one and only MTA, Michelle Adesanya. She is the founder of Alina Creations. Hi, Michelle.
hi,
How are you doing?
I'm doing super great.
I'm so honored and excited to have you here on the couch with me for Voices with Victoria.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here too.
Thank you. So how are you feeling? How is it going?
I feel great. I'm so glad to be here, and
Amazing.
I'm looking forward to an exciting conversation.
Great. And I love your tea, Abba,
you.
Father, Source, and Source. I know that you did that at the
Yeah.
Alina's creation. Well done. Okay, so now let's get right into, the interview and what we're here for. But I would like us to go from the beginning. First of all, introductions. Who is Michelle Adesanya? And I would also like to know maybe specific experiences leading up to now that have shaped you into this amazing, powerful woman that you are today.
Okay. So I like to say that first of all, Michelle is a daughter of God, a lover of God, and also a lover of people. So every single thing that I do or I have become in the process, comes from that fact that I love God and I love people. I love to see people become better versions of themselves. I love to
Amazing.
see them grow and just be better. And I can remember that when I started the journey to becoming who I am today started when I was in university. So before now, I got into school with the mindset of my parents have caged me so much, like you're always indoors and all of that. So I was like, you know what, when I get into
You want to
university,
explore?
I'm going to explore. But fortunately, God caught me up, and I remember I joined this radio group because I loved the media then and I wanted to be a radio presenter. So I joined this platform, and then we had a training, and then they invited this guy who was a popular motivational speaker in our school then. He came and then he was training us and speaking to us. And as I heard him speak, I don't know. It just felt like a baby leaping moment.
Wow.
I just felt like this thing that this guy is doing, I can do it too. I've never thought about it before, but the moment I heard him talk that day, I felt like I have this in me. And I just developed, the desire to just want to inspire people, be a blessing. And I know I reached out to him that day and I was like, I want to be a motivational speaker too. Can you teach me? And he was like, I know you have it in you. He was motivating me and all of that. So we became friends, introduced me to my mentor, my now mentor. He said, oh, there's this platform for ladies, development, spiritually and every aspect. I'd like you to join the platform. So I joined the platform, became a part of the group, learned a lot, gave me books to read, gave me so
Wow.
many, like, it was just like an instrument that God used to, help me discover a side of me that I never knew existed. And it was just amazing. And meeting my mentor was just so beautiful. I started to volunteer with my gifts, and I love creativity, I love art, I love to just do something that is creative. So I would
Amazing.
just design stuff for her, and she'll correct my designs and say, Michelle, this design is, you can do it like this, you can do it like that. And I started to develop passion for just expressing myself through designs and creativity. And I didn't even know that I was going to do a business that would, have to do with
Require
words
that.
and
Yeah.
designs and all of that. So I just believe that every of those things I experienced, as an undergraduate through to NYS and now, just really prepared me for what I'm doing now. And it's just really been amazing.
Amazing. It's like a puzzle fix. Every single action, some way is leading up to the moment that we are living currently. What I hear you say, because you mentioned people, the first one was the motivational speaker
Yeah.
who now connected you to your mentor.
Yeah.
So people were very instrumental to who you are today.
Yeah.
And some of the things you've been able to achieve. Can you just quickly share on the place of mentorship, personally, and then as an advice to people? Where's the place of mentorship? Is it just a buzzword? Because everybody like get a mentor,
Right.
and let's just get your thoughts on that.
So I always tell young people, right, that you can't do life alone, and you need people that have gone ahead of you. I see mentors as ladders, right? Somebody has gone on the journey that you want to go, and it helps you to even compress time so you don't make the same mistakes. So I believe strongly that mentorship is actually very important. So as a young person, you should not be doing life alone, really. You should find a mentor. And I always say this: don't say TD Jakes is your mentor. Don't say
You don't even know him.
Sarah Roberts is your mentor, right? Find people around you that you can ask questions, you can talk to, you can learn from, you can see.
That you have a relationship
You can
with someone.
exactly. So it's so important, and that's one of the things that God helped me with, because my mentor would always resound in my ears. Then she'll tell me that she calls me Okpe, right? That's my Yoruba name. She'll say Okpe. Being before doing. She always says that. And it was through her I even got to know you, right? Because I was, I started out just wanting to be everywhere. And she was like, okay, there's this young lady like yourself doing amazing stuff. You should check her out. She will inspire you. And that was how I got to know you. So she has really been like an instrument to my growth and becoming as a person.
Amazing. So let's take it back to now, right? You are the creative director. You are the founder of Alina Creations. You're doing amazing things. I see your teams everywhere, even, offshore Nigeria and in different cities in the country. Let me know, are there some of the challenges you faced, especially building an innovative brand that requires creative thinking, innovation, thinking on the spot? Have you faced any sort of like setback or challenges, and how have you been able to overcome some of those challenges so far?
Okay, so there've been quite a number of challenges. Especially running a business in Nigeria, it is really challenging. First of all, the whole cost of production, all of those things, they are there. And then I think one of the major things is actually being able to meet the changing demands of customers, right? So I'm into the creative kind of business where we get to use words. And when I started out, I felt, okay, whatever it is I put out, people are just going to accept it like that. They're just going to love it. But to my greatest surprise, I realized that it doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
right? People have preferences. What you think is nice
Might
might
not
not
be nice to
necessarily be
me.
nice to them. So I think that was the first shock I got, when I started business. Like, I thought my ideas were the most perfect, and then bringing them out and nobody's even like interested in it, and then they're telling me,
Wow.
oh no, this is what I want. So I have to like adjust myself to that position of being able to meet with, and their demands are different, right? What one person wants is different from what the other person wants. So like that's been very challenging, but I've been able to just manage it and still bring it all together.
Yeah.
I still bring my designs and let people understand that, okay, this is what we do, and then you can modify it to your taste and all of that. So I've been able to manage that well to an extent, and I think that's like one of the major challenges, being able to meet with the demands
The
of
different
demands of
of
people.
individuals. Have you also had any customer service issue where you delivered something and customers are like, no, I don't want this, and you know that this is what the person initially wanted, all of those back and forth, and how have you been able to deal with that?
Yeah, I've had that. In fact, it was even recently. So I delivered a T-shirt to somebody. It wasn't even as if that she didn't want it. She said that the size. Okay, when she ordered the shirt, she said, "I don't know the size of this person. Can you look at this person's picture and determine the size?" So based on what I saw, I just assumed, and that was a very big mistake I made.
Assumption.
Exactly that. Okay, this should size this person. By the time I delivered it, she forgot that she was the one that told me that I should use any size, and then she was like, "No, this size is too small. It can't enter this person," and all of that. And I'm like, "Okay, I'm very sorry. I had to take the blame, right? And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do another one for you and send it. And then you send this one, and maybe I'll just, sell it off to somebody that needs it. But luckily for me, she was a very understanding person. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to buy this new design and then find somebody to give the old
other
one.
one.
So
Amazing.
that was how I was able to solve that.
Okay, so following up from my initial question, I know that navigating difficulties that can sometimes lead to doubt,
Yeah.
self-doubt, all of the challenges you've mentioned. Sometimes I know that sometimes we're like, oh my God, Michelle, who sent me? God, is this you? I heard
Yeah,
your
right.
voice. There's certain situations you face and you be like, I'm not sure this is for me. I'm not sure I heard you. But how do you maintain your self-worth? How do you maintain your self-belief about the business? And how do you keep pushing regardless of all of these storms that probably come once in a while?
Okay. So one thing I always do, I always go back to the drawing board, to be honest. Like I go back to where and how I started, why I started. So if not that, okay, I had the vision to be here, I won't be here because I always told myself that I'm not cut out for business, right? So I always remind myself that God is the one that brought me to this point. And one of the amazing things that I've observed in my journey of, doing this business is that God is always true to himself, to his words, to his commitment to me. There are days that I've been very discouraged. I mean, there was a particular time I was in that space where I was like, am I really sure this is what I want to do? Maybe I should just get a job and then just probably put this aside till I'm really, ready for it. And I was in that space and I was so discouraged. I was so down. And I remember that somebody randomly sent me a message telling me, "Oh, Michelle, I'm so grateful to God for you. I love what you're doing. The words on your t-shirts are really inspiring. They help me and all of those things." And it was just so random. And I was like, "Oh my
Wow.
God, this is like God trying to say something to
It was
me."
comforting
Right? It
you.
was so comforting, and it just reminded me that, see, you can have challenges, right? But don't give up. And I tell people, right, if you're doing something, it's not going to be all rosy. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be things that would question your convictions, but your ability to stay. I think one of the things I'm praying for and I'm working on is staying power. And this is something that every young person, in whatever thing that you're doing, whatever it is that you're building, you need to get, because it's easy to start something. It's easy for you to be so energized. When you start something,
It's very
the energy is
exciting.
there.
Very exciting.
But the ability to now stay grounded and say, come rain, come sunshine, I'm going to keep doing this. Whether the world comes crashing down on me, I'm going to stay. And you need to have an anchor, right? You have to have something that is keeping you going. For me, it is God's word, the things that He has said to me in the secret and, consistently. And that's what I keep holding on to and telling myself that there are lives attached to what I'm doing. And I tell myself that what you're doing is not random. What you're doing is not, it might look normal to you, but it is not, because people's lives are being blessed by it. So just keep going and keep being a blessing. Everything's going to come together.
Amazing. Everything is going to come together. Now, this is off the books. I didn't plan on asking this, but while you were talking, just struck me. From motivational speaker, someone who wants to inspire, you're still inspiring, right? How did that tag or label change to now being a business owner? Did you ever think, like you said, you didn't know you were going to go into business?
Yeah.
So what was that point where you knew you needed to start Alina Creations, and why did you even start?
Okay, so I got the idea for Alina Creations when I was in the university.
Okay.
But I didn't even have clarity on it. I wanted to do a fashion business, and because I love God so much, I'm like, my fashion business is going to be used to propagate the gospel. I didn't even know how, but I drew something in my paper and all of that, and I just kept it. And I felt when I blow in life, when I'm rich, I'm going to start this business.
For
right?
those of you who are keeping all your passion for when I blow.
So that was the plan. Like when I've made money, so I'll be doing other things. So I got a job that I was doing, and it was a very well paying job as at then. And I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I felt like this is not where I'm supposed to be. And I remember that vision started to come alive in me from nowhere. I just started to think about it. Why don't you start this thing that you've always wanted to do now? And I remember my pastor reached out to me and said, because I was feeling, and I know one thing I've observed about myself, when it's time for me to go to a new level, I start to feel uncomfortable where I am. So I was very uncomfortable at that job. I was just going to work every day for the sake of going to work.
I mean, and for money.
Exactly, for money.
Very
So I
important.
was feeling very, there was that shift on my inside I couldn't explain. And he just sent me a random message and he said, there's something that is brewing inside of you that wants to be birthed, and you need to spend time praying, right? Spend time with God, because there's something that God wants to unlock. So I was like, why would this man send me this message? And I just knew that was God speaking
You were
to me.
scared?
Yeah, I was like, Jesus, I'm not ready for this. Like, I didn't want to do business. And even if I was going to do business, I didn't want to do hustle kind of business where come and buy what I'm saying. I don't like that stress at all. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready for this. So when he said that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take time aside and actually spend time, praying and knowing what God wants me to do. And I also remember I was listening to a message on my way to work, and the message was just, stirring me up to just start this thing that God has put in my heart. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to start Alina Creations. And that was how, I started it. I just started to ask people questions. So there are people that I knew were doing what I wanted to do. So I reached out to them. I want to start a t-shirt business, and I don't know where to start from. I don't know what to do. How did you do it? So, they were just giving me, I remember I talked to like 3 people, and they were giving me insights, advice. Okay, this is what you do. So I was just able to gather that knowledge, and then, so that was really how I started.
Amazing. And what you said is very instructive. There's nothing in this world that you want to start, or you think the vision that God has given to you that someone somewhere
Yeah.
is not already executing. Sometimes we run with this notion that I heard God, and we think that our ideas are so unique. Yes, the idea or the execution might be unique because you're a unique individual, but that thing in itself, somebody else is doing it in some way. And I like that you said you reached out to people, and this is very instructive to young people, or even older people in business or whatever it is that you want to do. When God has given you an idea, when you know that it's even God that is showing you what to do, it's still wisdom to reach out to people in that space, in that industry, to ask, okay, how is it going? What can I do? And just get the insights required. And yeah,
I always believe something that people are possibilities, right? So what somebody is achieving is like God is showing me a template of what I can do. So when I see people doing things, maybe people my age, working in a dimension or a level that I desire to work in, it's God telling me that this thing is actually possible. So because our minds can be limited,
yeah,
and
true.
you think that you all that you're doing is all there is to it, and then you see somebody else doing
You
it
see
in a
another
greater
angle.
capacity, and then you see that, oh, this is actually possible. And I think that's one thing that God has helped me with in this business. Not because there's a way that you can feel like, you know what, I'm good, my ideas are the best, and then you see somebody doing something like that and you're like, oh wow, that means I can be better than. So it's just amazing. Like it's just really amazing.
And that I remember that I heard somebody say, I don't know who exactly, or I read it somewhere, that said you will be thinking that you think that your idea is great
Exactly.
until you talk to somebody and then you see the foolishness in that great idea.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's also good to have sounding board, but then again, it's about who. So you don't
Right.
share your ideas with people who are going to mock that
Because they
idea.
are dream killers.
Of course. So we also need to be very careful who
Yeah.
are the people you're reaching out to, and getting good anchors, like you said. Also, I would like to know, for people who are listening who are starting a business or who are already in business, because you've built momentum with this. This is just a year or 2 years. You
2 years.
celebrated 2 years recently, and you're doing amazing things already. What are some of the strategies? I would like to know, the business success you're enjoying. I know you still want more. Of course, everybody wants more. But where you are is good, I must say. And
Thank
it's really inspiring. What are some of the strategies you've been able to push through? Or what are some of the things you've been able to do, that have given you that level of result and you want to share with other business people?
Okay, so I think one of the major things that I became intentional about in business was to create a community around what I'm doing, a community of people who love what I'm doing and who can, help spread what I'm doing. So I've been able to build, maybe not so large a community, but I've been able to build a community of loyal people that are loyal to me and to my brand, and they love what I'm doing. Like, I'm always telling my story. I tell stories a lot, and people think that, oh, I'm just sharing these things because I want to share it. But I'm sharing it intentionally to connect to people, right? Because what I do, right, is like a lifestyle. basically.
People
Like,
focused.
is a lifestyle. So because the kind of ideas I'm trying to push out, I want people to connect to what I'm doing. So I share stories, I share challenges, I share my process with people
Yeah, you're very
to
personal.
exactly to get them connected to it. And I've seen that people are so invested in it. People want to see me grow, to be honest. And there are times people just, are excited to refer me to other clients. They're excited to buy from me. They're excited to associate themselves
Because
to
you've involved them to your
exactly. I
business.
involve them in it because I know that, see, if you're going to do anything worthwhile, you need to be able to tell a story in a way that it connects to people and they want to be a part of it. People want to be a part of. People want to feel like they are needed. They want to feel like they're a part of your success story, in quotes. So I try my best to get them involved in that process so that they are like the sounding symbol everywhere and telling people, oh, there's this brand here, Alina Creations, this is what she does. And I've seen that work for me over time.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Just, if you don't mind, you can share one more strategy that has also worked. I know that you have said people are at the core of your business and involving them in your business process sort of like helps to push referrals and all of that. Are there other strategies, maybe social media or whatever, that you have been able to execute that is giving you the results that you have now?
Okay, so yes. Number one, I'm always trying to one thing I set out to do was to create a niche for myself and to be distinct, right? So there are a lot of people doing Christian merch business, but I've been able to create like my own unique value to people. And also the way I do my business is not the way every other person is doing theirs. When a client comes to me and they want to get the way I make them feel, first of all, I feel like it's all about how you make people feel. It still goes back to people because what I'm doing is actually serving people. So yeah, social media. I actually use social media for my benefit. I use social media to talk about, to create engagement. Yeah, I don't have that buzz like that online, but I'm still able to share, and I'm always talking about what I do to people, even in my church, like my local community. And then one thing I also observe that works for me is when I create a design, I put it on a mock-up. I don't really get engagement like that. But when I create that design, I wear it and I take fine
Yes.
pictures.
Uh-huh.
And then I post it online. People are like, oh, I want this. So I realized that this thing is actually working. When I wear this shirt, people want to buy it. So I just make sure that I have different designs of what
And
I
you
make.
personalize
I
that product,
personalize
you
it.
wear it.
I wear it, and then people can see themselves in it. They want to get it, and
Amazing.
I use my friends as well. Okay, please just wear this thing and take a picture, send it to me, tell a story around it, just to drive people to want to be a part of what we're doing.
Amazing, amazing. So I would like to come personal. Because a lot of young persons have ambitious goals. You also have an ambition goal. You're doing a lot aside business. You have ministry that you're doing and all of that. How have you been able to balance it all? Have your self-care routine. You're married. You have family, and then your business, and then ministry. How have you been able to tie all of these things together with your ambitious goals?
Okay, so I always say that the word balance is actually how do I put it? I don't want to say a myth, but then the word balance for me it's actually almost impossible to
I'd
be
rather say
honest.
integration, right?
Exactly. So what I do, what I've learned to do, or what I'm learning to do is actually know what to prioritize per time. Right? So I know that okay, for this season of my life, this is what I want to invest. So I know the core part of my life that cannot be shortchanged for anything at all, right? I know the major aspects. It's like I think there was this story about a man who was trying to fill in stones and sands into a bottle or something. I can't remember the exact story, but then knowing what to do part time, knowing the things that are most important, the things that you cannot trade for anything. For me, it is my relationship with God. For me, my family. Those things I cannot trade for anything. So I try my best to know what to prioritize. So I know that okay, this is actually self time. And one thing I do, I'm very very intentional with my self care. I go for retreats a lot. There are times I feel I'm very overwhelmed. I'm tired. I don't want to do anything business or anything now. I just want to spend some time with myself. I just take time away and I do it a lot. Sometimes people just realize that oh, Michelle is not online. She's not posting. Where is she? I've just gone to just take time away to just recuperate because being in that space where you're building things, you can get so consumed trying to be everything, and you realize that you're nothing to yourself. So
Wow.
I am like so intentional about that. I don't even joke with, because I also believe that everything that I do flows from me, right? So if I am succeeding, my business will succeed, my marriage will succeed, my family will succeed, my everything, that my ministry will succeed. So if me as a person, I am succeeding, every other thing that I'm doing will come together. So I am very intentional with myself, my self-care, my personal development, learning, and knowing when to stop and focus on other things and what not to focus on per time.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. We've had such an enlightening and empowering conversation. But I'd like to know if you have final words, especially to young people who are doing amazing things and who want to start something, how to push against setback, failure, and just build that spirit of resilience, and also general final words to everyone listening.
Okay, so to every young person, I just want to encourage you to just keep going. I know it sounds like a cliche, right? But the truth is that when you set out to do anything, it doesn't promise to be a bed of roses. You will have to put in the work, you have to do the dirty work and all of that. But even if all the odds are against you, one thing that you must keep for yourself is that resilient spirit, that spirit of, I can do this, that spirit of, no matter what comes my way, I am able to overcome whatever challenges come my way. And, there was a word that came to my heart this morning when I was coming here. And the word, said that those things that God has said to you in time past concerning your life, sometimes you go into church and you hear prophecies of you're going places, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. And then you're looking at your life, nothing around you looks like it. But that word that God said will surely come to pass.
Yes.
It's only subject to time and subject to your readiness. So this season of your life, what are you doing to build capacity? What are you doing to become a better version of yourself? Wow. What are you doing to actually prepare yourself for where God is taking you to and the things that God has said he's going to do with you? Because they are not going to come and meet you where you are. You have to go for it. You have to work hard for it. You have to position yourself for it. And when you do that, you realize that everything will begin to fall in place. So don't give up and just keep doing what you're doing.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Would like to know if there are any projects ongoing or, soon to come that you want us to be part of. So please just mention so that we can be part of it.
Okay, so my most recent project is Creators Haven. Creators Haven is a platform for young entrepreneurs, creatives, pioneers, people that are in that space of, building something. And so what we just do is come together, we retreat, because retreat is very important and I don't joke with it at all. Yeah. So we retreat, we, inspire each other. We have great conversations. There are journaling experiences, prayers, everything just to make your life enriched. So it's we've done 2 editions now. I had the first one in March, second one in August, and we're going to be having the 3rd edition in October. So I would like you to be a part of it if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a creative, if you're a visionary of anything at all. Creators Haven is the place for you to be. So please register.
Thank you so much, MTA Michelle Adesanya, for being on this episode of Voices with Victoria Ndu. It's been such an empowering conversation, and I look forward to having you on this couch again some other time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor. Okay, so we had such an empowering session with the founder and creative director of Alina Creation. Please do well to follow her on all her social media handles on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, anywhere and everywhere. It's been such an empowering conversation. And do well to share this video, like, comment, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Voices with Victoria Ndu. Until next time, do enjoy an exciting time.
Thanks for watching Voices with Victoria. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe, and share. Cheers!